Hello everyone, and welcome to the Project 2 section of this course. Here we'll create a game. I have given it the title, Which Road Will You Choose? And these are some of the characteristics of the game. So we'll create a game where a player has to choose between two roads. One road leads to a treasure, whereas if the player chooses another road, that road leads to a scary place. So which road to choose? So these are some of the methods that will help us build this game. So first we'll have a method or function that will display some introduction about the game, and then we'll have another function that will ask the player to choose a road. Then we'll have another method or function to display result of the chosen road and whether the player has chosen the path to treasure or misery. And finally we'll have a function that will ask if the player wants to play again. So take a moment, pause this video and try to derive a game that will do following this. Okay, let's start the game. Okay, first I'll have a function that will display introduction to the player. So I'll call that function display game intro. Okay, so I will print some info about the game. I will print out something like this: you are in a faraway land full of monsters. Ahead of you you see, then let's print another line, print ahead of you see two roads. If you take the first road, the monster guarding the path is Carl. Let me print another line, print. So if you take the first road, the monster guarding the path is calm and friendly. Okay, and will share his treasures with you. The other monster, however, so you can type anything that you want. This is just an intro for the player. Let's say the other monster, however, is always hungry and will not hesitate to eat you on sight. Okay, great. I'll pass an empty parenthesis here. So this is my display game intro function. Good. Now let me define another function, and I'm gonna call it chooseRod. Okay, and then let me create a variable, and it holds an empty string. So this chooseRod method, it will let the player choose rod 1 or rod 2. Okay, I can use while statement for that, while loop. I can say while rod is not equal to, I'll explain later on, while rod is not equal to 1 and rod not equal to 2, I can say print which rod will you go into, and then I can display choices for the user or player, 1 or 2. Okay, then I can have rod is equal to row input. So this will let the player input his options. Okay, let me go in detail and explain the chooseRod function. So the reason why I have a while loop in the chooseRod function is because the player may type 3 or 4 or even anything like hello, hi, whatever, right? So in that situation, our program will not make sense of that. So if the player did not enter 1 or 2, the program will loop back, right, and ask the player for the rod number. So if the player keeps entering the wrong numbers, our program will patiently ask the person to enter 1 or 2, right? So it will loop back and ask the player for the rod number over and over again until the player finally enters 1 or 2. And when the player does that, the while loops block will be false, right? So in that condition, it will jump out of the while loop and will continue with the rest of the program. So this is what it will do.